here my x values are from A is commonly called, and we're going to fill that blank in with another Greek letter. Lowercase delta. Okay, so I just filled that in with lowercase delta. Honestly, these names are somewhat arbitrary. It's just, people, there's societies that kind of, there's a society of geographers and society of, any kind of field has, a society of like-minded people that kind of come together. And so at some point in time, they kind of formalize these big key ideas. And at that time, it was sort of became a standard that you're going to call the tolerance around your y's epsilon and your tolerance around your x's delta. Okay, so just to help you picture what we mean by that, here's some function. Here's some specific x value a. If the limit exists, okay, if the limit exists, then whether the function's exactly defined there or not doesn't really matter for the limit. But if the limit exists, it means that as I start to crowd in around A, if the limit exists and is L, then the y values are starting to crowd in around L. So if you set some tolerance around the limit, we're going to call that tolerance epsilon. And then associated with that would be some little window around the special x value that gets denoted as A, and the tolerance around the special x value we're going to call delta. Okay, so imagine staying in some little range of the input A. The limit exists if you also stay within some little input, some little tolerance around L. Let's see, Josh, I'm sorry, somebody had their hand up.
Yeah, I was just wondering because I've also heard delta used for like change or different.
It is. It's just a different
symbol, the triangle, right?
Yeah, the capital delta is the triangle.
Okay.
And it does mean, it means change or increment. So that's actually why they're kind of using this, because, this is a slight change off of that input. It's just, it is a slightly separate idea from that, which is why they chose to use the lowercase instead of the uppercase.
Okay.
Yeah, and so this does mean increment or change. That's why on the graphing calculator, if I go into the table on the graphing calculator, do that. Okay, if I go into the table setup, that little symbol right here is that delta. And it means what you're changing the table by.
Okay.
So you are correct that is associated with change. I have a note here after our little description. It says see graphs on page 80 and page 74. I hope that those pages are still associated with this book, because I know we kept,
I'm on right now as that you just showed.
Okay, good, all right. I try to remember to go in and change the page numbers when we get a new book, but sometimes I forget. Yeah, so see, if you go to the pages I'm talking about, they have nice pictures drawn. I have a couple too that I'll kind of pull up.